Little Miss Grown-Ups don't play with toys. But walk into any suburban home in the late 1990s and you'd find something strange. Adults obsessively collecting, trading, and hoarding Beanie Babies. These weren't just children's playthings anymore. They had become investments, status symbols, and for some, an all-consuming addiction. How did a simple $5 stuffed animal turn into one of the most bizarre economic bubbles in modern history? This is the story of how clever marketing, human psychology, and pure greed created a phenomenon that would eventually crash and burn in spectacular fashion. Our story begins with a man named Ty Warner. Born in 1944 to a mentally ill mother, an abusive father, Ty's childhood was anything but stable. After a troubled youth, he found his calling in the toy industry, becoming a top salesman by the 1970s. But Ty wasn't content working for others. In 1986, he used a $50,000 inheritance to start his own company, Ty Inc., despite the plush toy industry being in decline. Ty had a vision. He traveled to South Korea to develop his first products, obsessing over every detail. His breakthrough came when he decided to understuff the toys, making them softer and more posable than competitors' products. But his real masterpiece would come in 1993 with the introduction of Beanie Babies, small, understuffed plush animals with a distinctive red heart-shaped tag. At first, Beanie Babies were a flop. Stores couldn't give them away. But then something unexpected happened. When one popular design, Lovey the Lamb, had to be discontinued due to a fabric shortage, Ty didn't just quietly stop production. He announced that Lovey was being retired. This simple framing changed everything. Suddenly, collectors started asking, which Beanie Baby will be retired next? Ty had accidentally discovered the power of artificial scarcity. He began strategically retiring other designs, creating checklists that turned casual buyers into obsessive completists. The first collectors were mostly suburban moms, but soon the craze spread far beyond. The real explosion came when the internet entered the picture. In 1995, a young employee named Lena suggested creating Ty.com, one of the first business-to-consumer websites. The site featured a guest book where fans could chat and trade, and Ty would post cryptic messages hinting at which designs might be retired next. Meanwhile, eBay was taking off, and Beanie Babies became the platform's first viral product. At their peak, they accounted for 10% of all eBay sales. Rare designs were selling for thousands of dollars. The combination of Ty's artificial scarcity and the new online marketplace created a perfect storm. The madness reached new heights in 1997 when Ty partnered with the McDonald's to create Teenie Beanie Babies for Happy Meals. Customers were buying dozens of Happy Meals just to get the toys, throwing away the food. McDonald's had to limit purchases as fights broke out in restaurants. One employee was arrested for stealing $6,000 worth of the tiny toys. By 1998, Ty Inc. was doing $1.4 billion in sales. People were mortgaging homes to buy Beanie Babies, convinced they were investments that would only appreciate. There were reports of thefts, robberies, and even a murder tied to Beanie Baby disputes. But like all bubbles, this one couldn't last forever. In 1999, Ty made several missteps, releasing too many new designs at once, overproducing retired models, and finally staging a publicity stunt where he pretended all Beanie Babies would be retired unless fans paid to vote to save them. The market saw through the gambit and the bubble burst spectacularly. Today, most Beanie Babies from the 90s are worth less than their original $5 price tag. The few that retain value are mostly due to manufacturing errors or extremely limited runs. The story serves as a cautionary tale about speculative manias and how easily people can be swept up in collective delusions. What's most fascinating is how all the elements came together. The clever marketing, the emerging internet, the human psychology of collecting and status seeking. It's a pattern we've seen repeated throughout history, from tulip mania to cryptocurrency booms. So what do you think? If you'd lived through the Beanie Baby craze, would you have gotten caught up in it? Or would you have seen it for the bubble it was? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the strangest economic phenomena of the 90s, don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating stories from history and business.